I'm done with our marriage. The words cut through the air like glass shattering on tile. Emily didn't scream them. She didn't cry. She said them in a flat, steady voice while folding laundry, as if announcing the weather. I froze in the doorway, one shoe untied, my breath caught in my throat. I smiled. Not because I was happy, not because I wanted it, but because sometimes when the ground collapses beneath your feet, all you can do is grin at the absurdity of freefall. Done. I repeated, forcing the word through my teeth. She didn't look up. She smoothed out one of my shirts and set it on the pile. Yes. I can't do this anymore. I don't love you the way I used to. The shirt in her hands wasn't just cotton and thread. It was years of us. Birthdays. Road trips. Late-night movies. My chest tightened until I thought my ribs would crack. But I didn't ask why. I already knew. The signs had been there, creeping in like shadows at dusk. The late nights at yoga. The perfume that lingered on her when she came home, floral and too strong for a gym. The way she angled her phone away when it buzzed, laughter slipping through her lips before she cleared her throat and frowned at me, pretending she was scrolling through work emails. I'd caught glimpses, half-written messages, fragments of smiles, sudden excuses that dissolved under scrutiny. But I convinced myself I was imagining it. After all, what kind of husband questions his wife over shadows and whispers? So I smiled now, standing in the wreckage of denial. Who is he? I asked, softly, almost kindly. Her hands faltered on the next shirt. The pause was an answer in itself. She didn't meet my eyes. It doesn't matter. It matters to me. My voice cracked despite my best effort to steady it. She finally looked at me, her eyes glistening but not with regret. More like guilt that had grown too heavy to carry. His name is Ryan. He makes me feel alive again. Like I matter. Like I'm seen. Alive. Seen. Words I thought I had given her. Words that mocked me now. I felt my knees weaken, but I didn't sit down. I wouldn't give her that. How long? Her lips trembled. Almost a year. Almost a year. A year of lies. A year of I love yous whispered in bed after she had been in his arms. A year of birthdays, anniversaries, family dinners, all staged against the backdrop of her secret life. I thought about the time she insisted we skip visiting my parents because she was too exhausted. About the business trips that ended with her returning in clothes wrinkled in strange patterns. About the way she'd recall when I touched her, then blame stress, hormones, anything but the truth. You could have left me then, I whispered. Before turning our marriage into a graveyard you kept visiting. Tears slid down her cheeks, but I couldn't tell if they were for me or for the guilt of being caught. I was scared. I didn't want to hurt you. A laugh tore out of me, bitter and sharp. Didn't want to hurt me? Emily, you've been stabbing me in the dark for months. You just didn't think I'd find the wounds. She covered her face with her hands, shaking. For a brief, twisted second, I pitied her. She looked like a child cornered in a lie too big to undo. But then the pity dissolved into rage, because pity meant I still cared, and I didn't want to. The silence stretched until it became unbearable. Finally, she said, "What are you going to do?" I smiled again, but this time it wasn't from shock. It was cold, deliberate. Nothing. You already did it for me. Her hands dropped from her face, confusion flickering in her eyes. I trusted you with my life, I continued, my voice low, shaking with restrained fury. With my love, my future, everything. And you handed it to someone else like it was spare change. So no, I don't need to do anything. You've already burned this down. She reached for me then, desperate. Please, Mark, listen. I was lost. I made mistakes, but that doesn't erase everything we had. Everything we had. I cut her off, my tone sharp enough to draw blood. Emily, everything we had is ashes now. You don't get to light a fire and then ask me to pretend the house is still standing. Her mouth opened, but no words came. Just tears and silence. I turned and walked out, leaving her in the kitchen with the neatly folded laundry that suddenly looked like evidence of a life I no longer recognized. My footsteps echoed down the hall, each one heavier than the last. I didn't pack a bag. Not then. I just drove. The night air rushed through the open window, cold against my burning skin. Streetlights blurred past, and the world outside felt unreal, like I was trapped in someone else's nightmare. At some point, I pulled over near the lake we used to visit when things were good. The water shimmered under the moonlight, still and endless. I sat on the hood of my car, staring at the reflection of the stars, wondering how love could turn into betrayal so quietly, like a candle flickering out without a sound. I thought about her words, "I'm done with our marriage," and the way I smiled. Maybe that smile was my survival. Maybe it was the armor I needed to hide the fact that inside, I was breaking apart. The cruel twist was this: I still loved her. Or maybe I loved the ghost of her, the woman she used to be before lies hollowed her out. And that love, still clinging to me like a parasite, was the deepest betrayal of all. When I finally drove home, dawn was breaking. The house stood quiet, heavy with the weight of her absence even though she was still inside. I stepped into the silence, and for the first time, it didn't feel like home. It felt like ruins. She had ended our marriage with a sentence, and I had answered with a smile. But behind that smile was something she would never see, something she would never undo. The part of me she killed when she chose someone else.